life, and what does that mean? And I'll describe that more for you in just a moment. I've been using a basketball to help us to understand the principle of resilience. To have a successful life, you have to have this quality called resilience. For your children to be successful, they have to have the quality called resilience. And this word resilience can be really, I think, a good object lesson for it is found in the basketball. This basketball has the ability to bounce back when it hits a hard substance, a hard surface. The reason the basketball bounces back, straight back to me after I bounce on the hard surface is because, first of all, it has the right shape to it. Obviously, if it was shaped differently, if it was oblong or some other kind of shape, it would not bounce back. If there were different kind of bumps on it, obviously it would be more difficult to control the ball and where it would bounce. And so the shape of the ball is extremely important. And of course, having the right amount of the right stuff on the inside, making sure this ball is at its right air pressure. If we were to deplete some of the air out of this basketball, then obviously it's not going to have the bounce that it has when it's properly inflated. We're using this as an example for your life and for the lives of our children. For us to be resilient, that is to be able to bounce back when the hard things of life come our way, we need to be properly shaped. That is, we're shaped, being shaped, I should say, in the image of Jesus. None of us are there yet. We're in that process of letting Jesus shape us day in and day out, letting him knock off all those rough edges and round us out so that we're real followers of him and becoming more and more like him. And then we need to be filled up with the right amount of the right stuff. Of course, we need to be filled with God's word, filled with God's spirit. And there are other character qualities that go along with that. We need to have the character quality of gratitude. You'll never be resilient in life. You can't bounce back in life if you're a grumbler, if you're a complainer, if everything in life is bad. You need a spirit of gratitude and a spirit of thanksgiving. We also talked about the importance of discipline and how discipline actually is what works to shape your life into that image of Jesus. And then we've been talking for the last several weeks about another quality, internal quality called grit or called perseverance. You will never be successful in life, nor will your children be successful without this principle or this characteristic, I should say, of something called grit or being able to endure or persevere. You and I need to make it through the hardest times of life by having the grit necessary to do so. And as I've mentioned before in this series, when it comes to being a parent, obviously, there's no way for any of us to plan the lives of our children out so that everything is going to go well for them. As it's been said, you cannot prepare the road for your child, but you can prepare your child for whatever road they're going to face in life. And that's what we're looking at in this series together. How do we actually do that? Now, as a part of perseverance over the last couple of weeks, I've talked about a number of qualities. Today, I'm going to wrap up this part of the series. There will be one more message in the series next weekend as I talk about three more things that are necessary if you and I want to be resilient or to have this grittiness or perseverance that causes us to be resilient in life and to train our children accordingly. The first thing I want to share with you tonight, if you and I are going to develop this thing called grit, is we have to practice something called deferred gratification. It's impossible to actually be a persevering person without patience. Perseverance requires patience. You can't actually persevere because actually perseverance requires you to do something over a longer period of time, and that involves patience. Patience is one of the toughest qualities for any of us to develop. It certainly is one of the toughest qualities for any of us to maintain. I think we would all agree that in our culture today, patience is in quite a short supply. And oftentimes in our own lives, it's in quite a short supply. And often we need to realize that waiting, although it's the hardest thing that we can do in life, sometimes it's actually the greatest thing you can ever do in your life. I'm not sure about you, but many of the big mistakes that I've made in my life, I've made because I was impatient. How about you? And so when you learn patience in your life, the ability to wait, then there's a lot of amazing things that happen. In just a moment, I'm going to show you a video that really illustrates the issue of developing patience or deferred gratification, deferring what you really want in life, knowing how to wait until the right moment and the rewards that come in the right moments. In the 1970s, there was an educational experience, psychological experience done with kids to try to see how they could develop deferred gratification and the long-term effects of that. And they've studied that by doing something called the marshmallow test. Have you ever heard of the marshmallow test before? The marshmallow test is an interesting test because they would put a child in a room and they would place, as you're going to see here in a moment, a marshmallow on a plate in front of them, and they would tell them, if you'll, here's one marshmallow, you can eat it now if you'd like to, but I'm going to come back in a few moments, and if you wait until I come back, you are able to have two marshmallows. Okay? And so they tested these kids to see how willing they were to wait for the reward of two marshmallows. Let's take a look at the screens and see how some of these kids did. Would you watch this together with this roll?
Okay, sit in that chair. All right, here's the deal. Marshmallow for you. You can either wait, and I'll give you another one if you wait, or you can eat it now. When I come back, I'll give you another one, so then you'll have two. But stay in here and stay in the chair till I come back, okay? All right. I'm gonna go do something, and then I'll come back.